Enough! Okay, I get it. You all hate my intro. It's too long. You all skip it every video. I got it. All jokes aside, I have been experimenting with a couple of new intro songs, and this one is my favorite.
Whisper in my ear that you want some more, and I jizz in my pants.
Okay. Before y'all call the authorities, let's get straight into the video. So many topsy-turvy things are happening in football right now. Guardiola recently got a degree from the University of Manchester and gave a speech and talked about Gaza. Manchester City are currently expanding to have more empty seats at the Etihad. My Fenerbahce are about to sign Kyle Walker. And Leroy Sané went to fucking Galatasaray. KDB and McTominay are actually a duo now. PSG dropped their annual banger of a home kit. Messi touched another kid. What's up with this guy touching kids? Does he have a problem? Cunha has officially retired from professional football. We stole Arsenal's golden boy for 15 million. Future Girona superstar. I cannot wait. And Trent Alexander-Arnold spoke in fluent Espanyol in his Real Madrid presentation. And according to Google, it takes 9 to 12 months to achieve conversational fluency and possibly even more.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Which means that Real Madrid and Trent Alexander-Arnold were in bed for a long time.
Traitor!
However, none of those things matter because we have a far more pressing topic at hand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Jack motherfucking Grealish. The answer to the question, what if Keira Knightley was attractive? For anybody watching this that doesn't support Manchester City, let me tell you something about our fan base. Every single Manchester City fan has Jack Grealish as their personal wallpaper.
It's true. And I jizz in my pants.
Now, this all started by a pretty forgettable football player and somebody that has the word whore in his name. A player that's only known for having a lot of pace in a video game like 10 fucking years ago. And yes, that man is Gabby Agbonlahor, a man, yes, a grown-ass man with the first name Gabby. It reminds me of Yo Gabba Gabba.
Shut the fuck up!
Now, he was saying some pretty interesting things on TalkSport about Guardiola and specifically Jack Grealish, to which the man himself responded with this. Not only that, in the comments, Jack Grealish also responded to another individual who also criticized him. My immediate reaction to all this is honestly, fuck it, why not? Go on, ya son, Grealish, defend yourself, who gives a damn? Who the hell cares about Gabby Agbonlahor? A man, ladies and gentlemen, who admitted on national television that he would drop David Beckham for Bukayo Saka.
I pick Saka over Beckham if I could pick an England team.
Would you really?
I said it in during the World Cup. I would have Saka over Beckham.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
That right there honestly deserves at least like 4 years in jail. I'm not even kidding. Now, I did see a video online showcasing two popular Manchester City YouTubers, with one of them going as far as saying that Jack Grealish was one of the main reasons why we won the treble.
Grealish, how do you make of his time at the City? And I think we're both in agreement that it's not been a flop. It's obviously not been what we all dreamed of when he came in.
100 million, everyone expects, the world. He gave us a lot, though, Jack Grealish. We won the treble. We won the treble. You can
largely
never...
because of him.
And you can
largely because of him. Largely because of him.
Largely? Largely? Really?
Really?
Now, my love for Jack Grealish has no bounds. It's practically borderline homoerotic, as you can see. However, this doesn't really make any sense. 1 assist in the Champions League that season. 1 assist. Just the one. Was the treble largely won more so on Jack Grealish or Bernardo Silva, who scored a brace against Real Madrid, scored a goal against Bayern München, had like 3 or 4 fucking nutmegs in 20 seconds, and the guy that gave us the winning assist to give us our first European trophy ever? Was it largely more on Grealish or Bernardo Silva? Not to mention Ruben Diaz, who is practically the best defender in world football for a majority of that season. Or could it be Kevin De Bruyne, who had like 30 plus assists in that entire season as well? Or perhaps it was Erling Braut Haaland who also helped us to win a treble because of his, 50 to 60 goals in all competitions that season. I love Jack Grealish, but it wasn't largely because of Jack Grealish that we won the treble. I think it's fair to say that Jack Grealish wasn't the only good player that we had that season. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
I don't think so.
Now, I love Jack Grealish, you all love Jack Grealish, but one of my favorite things about Jack Grealish is actually his defensive work rate, his determination to chase down defenders, and specifically attackers, on counterattacks, as you can see here with both Heung-min Son and Mohamed Salah. Just pure amazing work, just amazing mentality there by Jack Grealish. His hold-up play and his ability to aid in our fluidity has been nothing short of sensational for Manchester City. However, if looking at it from a price tag lens, it might not be on par with what we should have expected from Jack Grealish, and I 100% agree with most critics of Jack Grealish saying that he didn't live up to his £100 million price tag. That is 100% true. At Aston Villa, ladies and gentlemen, remember, he was a top dog. Replace Jack Grealish with Son, Sterling, or Saka. Villa go down. Yeah, I said it. I said he might not be better than those three players individually, but with what Jack Grealish brought to Aston Villa, the creativity, especially in the middle of the park, not as a winger, but in the middle of the park, okay, the defensive output that he did for Aston Villa, okay, to grind it out for those really close games, particularly at the end of the season, that guy, Jack Grealish, what he did for Aston Villa was nothing short of heroic. Did we see that Jack Grealish at Manchester City? No. However, his contributions during the treble-winning season were heroic. However, that is as far back as I can go for saying that Jack Grealish has had a good season. This year, ladies and gentlemen, on April 2nd, Jack Grealish scored a goal, his first goal since December 2023. That is 16 months without a goal.
Wait, what?
So you can come up to me and say that Jack Grealish's time at Manchester City was nothing short of sensational. He was solid. He was amazing. Oh, he won all these trophies. But from an individual standpoint, how in God's name do you defend that? Do I think that's all on him, especially his shortcomings in the last couple of years? No, hence why I am so excited for him to leave. The world needs two things. One is OnlyFans being banned, and two is to see a prime Jack Grealish once again. Look, he had to do it. He had to come to Manchester City and up his career and fight for the big trophies, and I commend him for that. But for all you idiots, blaming Guardiola and blaming, Jack Grealish and just giving a lot of hate to both parties, he came from Aston Villa as the top dog into a team with a world-class player and borderline Hall of Famer in every single position that year. We had practically the best player in the world in every single position that year. This was expected. His first year was absolutely shambolic, in my opinion, for a £100 million signing. Shambolic, but he grew and grew into his role, and he was absolutely stunning in 2022, 2023. His alcoholism isn't something that I'm keen on, but Jack Grealish, I'll admit it as a City fan, is so protected by fans, by Manchester City fans, and especially the media. When Riyad Mahrez or Raheem Sterling had dips in form, they got crucified, especially the latter. When Jack Grealish has a dip in form or he doesn't score a goal, every single City YouTuber or influencer or diehard wannabe proper fan says the same exact bullshit. Oh, you can't look at it this way. You can't look at it as goals or assists. You have to look at Jack Grealish in a specific fucking lens. And if you don't look at him in this specific lens, you're an idiot.
You're so annoying.
Do the world a favor and shut up. Remember what Souness said this about Paul Pogba in an interview with Micah Richards?
Pogba's had 4 assists though.
We expect that from a £100 million man.
Paul Pogba had 4 fucking assists that game against Leeds. Jack Grealish had 3 in the entirety of that season. Obviously, in most recent news, Jack Grealish was left out of the Manchester City traveling squad to America for the Club World Cup, and the saddest person on earth is Erling Braut Haaland. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is that I love Jack Grealish. I am not going to really talk about his price tag because, again, he didn't choose his price tag. He didn't choose to have a release clause of £100 million. That's just what he was worth to Aston Villa. I'm not going to say that Jack Grealish's time at City was completely successful or completely a failure. I am happy with what I saw with Jack Grealish, especially in those big games, in those big moments. He helped us win a treble. However, looking at his entire time at Manchester City, you could say the word underwhelming. I'm not going to argue with you. Thank you all so much, especially for those of you that made it to the end of this video. Consider hitting that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate having you on board. Let me know down in the comments what you think of Manchester City's decision to let Jack Grealish go, and more specifically, how do you think his time, how would you describe his time at City? Failure or success in the middle? Let me know.